Please excuse me. I'm Nostradamus. Welcome to Fortnight's News. In this video, I'm going to be showing you a little bit of climate news, and then I'm going to show you how the British government inflated the mortality figures during 2020, and I'm going to finish off showing you how they're using toxic gas to geoengineer the Earth's atmosphere. So it's really just the same old shit again. So let's get going. This is from this morning in Vladivostok. Where's the sound gone? Oh well. A bit cold and windy there. That was from the Siberian Times. Also from the Siberian Times, yesterday, January the 27th, peat fires continue to burn at air temperature of -50 degrees C in northeastern Yakutia. Pillars of smoke filmed over the areas hit by last summer's wildfires, despite the current long spell of extremely cold weather. So it's almost a couple of minutes long. I'm just going to let it play for you.
А до сих пор горит. Уж январь месяц. 2021 год. Тут еще горит. То ли торф тут есть. Там еще тоже дымит он там.
Babana var bu. Köyüngü bahar kira bu şebit. Bu просто göle yankes. Bunu koyduğum bulara bu. Tokta var bu. Bunu bu исследование gidecek bahar tuğuna. Tümü günü. Bu. Göle şebit köbbakın. Ma jahas ku khara u bunlara kahta. O konsarın in barda kenar. O. Tokta jaw gene yet.
So anybody that thinks 2021 is going to be any better than 2020, I'm afraid he's sadly mistaken. Because once that ice has gone, oh, that's just going to go fucking whoosh. I've come over now to Climate Reanalyzer. I can't get my words out tonight. I've only on my second can. Right, so I'm showing you this because I want to show you the expected rainfall during the coming 10 days. And just take note of the scale, and once it gets to the white, that's 1.5 meters of rain. 1.5 meters, just a trifle amount. So let's zoom the slider. Next 10 days. I should now be drawn to the top left area of the map. We're already up to 1.5 meters after about 5 or 6 days. Then it carries on. We could be looking at 2 to 3 meters of rain, and then it starts moving inland. Darwin's here. So, the foot down there again. Not got a drop down here. Not a drop. I really like this article because it sort of puts into perspective just how much ice the planet is losing on an annual basis. This is from Mashable Science India. Freakish ice cube shows the scale of Earth's vanishing ice. On Earth, the amount of ice lost each year is equal to a monstrous, over 6 mile high ice cube looming over New York City. And this ice loss is accelerating. Look at that. Every year. And the ice cubes are getting bigger. Woo, wow, wee. Now this one's funny from WebMD. China using anal swabs for COVID testing. Yay! China is not giving up on nasal or throat testing, but the country has adopted a new method for detecting the coronavirus. Anal swabs. Anal testing is being used so far only on select groups, mainly high-risk cases and people in quarantine. Some people who have been subjected to anal testing, including passengers arriving in Beijing and a group of more than 1,000 school children and teachers who were thought to have been exposed to the virus. That is 1,000 school children. That is bad, subjecting them to that. The use of anal swabs is limited because it's invasive and inconvenienced. If a stool sample cannot be obtained, a saline-stoked cotton swab about 1 to 2 inches long is inserted into the anus, with the sample tested for active traces of the virus. I am sorry, I thought this was funny at first, but I didn't see that about the school children. This is really bad. It says here, we propose anal swabs as the potentially optimal specimen for SARS-CoV-2 detection for evaluation of hospital discharge of COVID-19 patients. Well, why the fuck are they testing school children? Dirty bastards. Fucking pedos. Sorry, they are. Right, I'm back again. I have to pause it though. That's bad. Right. I've just necked half a can of lager. I've opened another one. I'm having a cig now and just carry on what I was going to say. Well, what I was going to say is this will never catch on in Britain because people's asses won't be able to fit through the car windows. But if this does come to a town near you, would you bend?
I'm a cop, and you will respect my authority.
Now let's have a look how the bastards have been fixing the COVID excess death figures in England and Wales for the whole of the year 2020. So what I've done is I've added up all the total deaths that's been recorded England and Wales 2020, and they're going off an average of total deaths over the previous 5 years. So this is an average of the last 5 years deaths, and I've added all them up as well. What they don't tell you is that the death rates have been creeping up annually every year since. Anyway, I'm on here. This is the UK death rate. So this is the whole UK. It includes Scotland and Wales, but I don't think it's going to alter the England and Wales figure. I think it should be round about the same. I don't see why it should differ at all. This is from the United Nations. All the figures are up to 2020. And it's got these are estimates. As you can see, they've gone averages for the last 5 years. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So one from 2015. So since 2015, it's gone from 9.179 up to 9.398, and it was expected to be 9.413 in 2020. So the death rate has been rising steadily over the previous few years. So I've just popped everything on a nice little easy to understand spreadsheet. So the 2019 population of England was that, and of Wales it was that, so it added up to that, and the projected mortality rate for 2020 was that. So we would have expected total deaths in 2020 to be just shy of 560,000. Now, this 5-year average in ONS reported is what I've showed you on the spreadsheet, and I put them all down and I added them up to get the totals: 539,000 and 614,000. Going back, so these are the official figures. So their 5-year average came to that, and they reported that. So therefore, the difference was, they said there were 75,031 excess deaths in 2020. But actually, you would have expected 559,923 deaths. And they're saying they only expected 539,083 deaths going off what had happened in the previous 5 years. But the population's gone up, the mortality rate's gone up, so we would have expected 559,923 deaths. The number of reported deaths remains exactly the same, but the excess deaths is now only 54,191, a difference of 20,840 over-reported excess deaths by this lying bastard fucking fear-mongering fucking government. Now on to the last segment. If you've been following me and my methane reports, you may know that I've been rather puzzled by the recent decline of methane levels in the atmosphere during the past few weeks. It has declined much more steeply this year than it did last year. And I've been racking my brains trying to come up with an explanation for this, and I've been totally clueless. That is, until yesterday, when I stumbled upon this article, which may explain it. This is from Nature magazine, just a day or two ago. Environmental scientists. That's a chemical plant in Qingdao, China. Researchers observed the highest emissions of a newly detected ozone-degrading chemical in eastern China. Mystery on high. An ozone-destroying chemical appears in the air. Emissions of puzzling compounds continue to rise, apparently from factories in East Asia. Well, that's a surprise, isn't it? Some of these following articles are quite technical. I'm going to try and keep them as simple as possible, because I don't understand most of it myself. Martin Vollmer at the Swiss Federal Laboratories for Materials Science and Technology in Dubendorf and his colleagues analysed air samples gathered around the world by a network of sensors aimed at monitoring trends in atmospheric gases. The team found a hydrochlorofluorocarbon compound named HCFC132b, which had never been detected in the global atmosphere. According to analysis of archived samples, HCFC-132b first showed up around 2 decades ago. Since then, levels of the compound, which seems to be coming from factories in East Asia, have trended upwards. The researchers also spotted 2 other compounds, HCFC-133a and HCFC-31, whose levels have fluctuated more over time than have those of HCFC-132b. None of the 3 chemicals has any known industrial use, making their source puzzling. This is the chemical in question, given its proper name, 1,2-dichloro-1,1-difluoroethane. Shows you its chemical structure. And all that. Let's have a look at the chemical vendors. These are the major producers and sellers of the chemical, which is useless. And top of the list is a corporation based in Wuhan. I'll say that again. Wuhan. They've exposed a few rats to this chemical to determine whether it's toxic or not. And they found that it's caused behavioural somnolence, general depressed activity, ataxia, lungs, thorax or respiratory depression, general anaesthetic behaviour, somnolence again, general depressed activity causes damage to the liver, plus other undeclared changes. So it causes distress to the respiratory system. I decided to investigate just what would happen to this chemical if released into the troposphere or stratosphere. And I found this PDF from HAL.
This sort of thing has cropped up before, and it has always been due to human error.
And it describes the ultraviolet photo excitation and ultrafast dynamics of HCFC-132b, which is also known as CF2ClCH2Cl, which in other words means what happens to it when light hits it, basically. Why don't they just bloody say what happens to it when a photon hits it, instead of all this garbage? Any roads? I'll scroll through all this. And loads of technical stuff. There's the molecule again. Man-made, toxic, useless molecule. made in Wuhan. Go through all this. Does anybody want me to leave the link to this or not? I very much doubt it. If you are interested in all this crap, then just leave a comment and I'll dig it out. I'm not gonna put this up any more, but I'll just find out come to the bit what I think is important. I think I've gone past it. Hang on. Who's back on page 2? Oh, right. These authors have reported the importance of chlorine atoms in the main photochemical deactivation, where the most probable dissociation pathway is the elimination of excited chlorine molecule or 2 chlorine radicals. Now, what destroys methane in the atmosphere? Well, it's normally thought that OH radicals destroy methane. But if they're introducing chlorine radicals, well, do you not think that would get rid of it a bit quicker? Do chlorine radicals react with methane or not? I don't know. So I decided to find out. Explaining the reaction between methane and chlorine. So I've just explained that the breakdown of this man-made chemical creates lots of chlorine radicals in the atmosphere. Let's scroll down to this bit here. It says, the productive collision happens if a chlorine radical hits a methane molecule. The chlorine radical removes the hydrogen atom from the methane. That hydrogen atom only needs to bring 1 electron with it to form a new bond to the chlorine, and so 1 electron is left behind on the carbon atom. A new free radical is formed, this time a methyl radical, CH3 radical. So these chlorine radicals reacts with the methane in the atmosphere, and we end up with hydrogen chloride, which gets dissolved in the water vapour and creates hydrochloric acid rain, and methyl radicals. I don't know what happens with these methyl radicals. Do they go on to destroy even more methane? I don't know. My head hurts at this point. But that's what I think is important, to show that these reactions can take place in the atmosphere. So, in conclusion, this useless, toxic chemical, produced mainly in Wuhan, is being found in more and more abundance in the atmosphere. Meanwhile, methane levels have plummeted. Everybody knows that methane is a particularly potent greenhouse gas, and we are realising that carbon dioxide is going to be practically impossible to remove from the atmosphere. So are they trying to develop ways to remove methane? It would make a heck of a difference in keeping the Earth temperatures down. Why are so many companies making and distributing this useless, toxic chemical? Look at them all. Are they stockpiling it in case the methane bomb goes off, so that they can just carry on with the Great Reset agenda uninterrupted? I don't know. What I do know is levels of this compound have continued to rise in the atmosphere, and at the same time, levels of methane have fallen dramatically. Pudsey told me he doesn't believe in God. Poor little boy's got to flee. He said he understands why God tortures human beings, but why create fleas to make his life hell? What sins has he ever committed to deserve this? Does God expect dogs to have faith as well? Thanks everyone for being here, and I'll see you again soon, hopefully. Right, goodbye then. Thanks again.
Smoke 'em if you got 'em. We are so fucked.